Hey, fellow traders, Superman from Forex Undressed. And boy, I can tell that things are rough. You're not making it in the Forex market, and boy, have we got a deal for you. We've been working behind the scenes for so long now, we've just come up with a perfect system that takes $5,000 in less than a month and turns it into $5 million. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? $5 million in less than a month. Okay, hang on now. Hang on. It gets even better than that now. So, basically, we thought, and we figured we've got to put a price on this. This system, this incredible system that turned $5,000 into $5 million. And we thought, all right, we're going to charge $5,000. But no. We decided that that was too much. Too much to ask, because we know you have taken a beating in the Forex markets and we had to make it more affordable. And that's what we did. We decided $3,000. But no, we decided that we're not even going to do $3,000. We've lowered it down to $500. But wait, we've done even better than that. We slashed and burned, and we took it down to, listen, are you ready? 47 cents. 47 cents! Now, head right over there. Head over there. Sign yourself in. Get the system today. There's only 3 left, folks. Don't wait. Don't wait. Get over there now. Get the system. Make yourself $5 million in 1 month. Fellow traders, how many times has your email box been inundated with mails like that? I get probably 100 of them a day. And you might be wondering what you just watched. Here it is. The big claim, the Holy Grail solution, the fake testimonials, the designer-edited proof, of course, your money-back guarantee, 60 days, you know it, and you're signed up now. You probably think the same thing. So let's get rid of Superman. And let's get down to what Forex really is. All right, fellow traders, I hope you found that somewhat amusing. I know we take great lengths to sort of debunk the Forex market in certain ways, and we like to keep it sort of pleasurable and funny for all of us who have probably been exposed to those sorts of marketing campaigns. Essentially, I was like you at one time, buying into the same sort of nonsense, looking for the Holy Grail, running from guru to guru, trying to somehow hit on a system, that didn't lose, all the sorts of things that you probably have gone through. I was there, did the same thing. But I just want to reassure you that I'm an educator and a trader, okay? I do trade the markets, and I do educate. I do them both. I'm not a marketer, I'm not a gambler, and I'm just a trader like you, okay? Looking for the answer that I've already found. And you'll find it sort of interesting on how I came about this epiphany that I have come across, over the last 10 years. When I first started to trade about 16 years ago, I was educated by, one of those gurus to believe that exceptionally large monthly returns were possible, by trading the Forex market, because it was such a large $5 trillion market that nobody would mind, of course, if you came in and scooped a little bit of money out here or there, But the exception of the fact is that, yes, they do, because it's auction-based market and a zero-sum game. For every buyer, there's a seller, so someone has to win, someone has to lose. Anyway, I think you know how this story is going to progress, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway, because I just want you to know my own humble beginnings were probably no different than your own. Essentially, I came into the market prepared to make these high returns. And in a little less than 3 months, I took a $100,000 account and I blew it up completely by trading ridiculous leverage, ridiculous position size, and listening to some guy that had me trading ridiculously. I still remember how I felt at the time. I felt suicidal. I felt like a failure. I felt ridiculous about everything that I had done. But what was worse is that I'd lost respect, not just with my father, but with my family and a lot of other people, who had at one time looked at me as somebody who really knew what he was talking about, or somebody with a valuable opinion or a valuable statement, and that was the most frustrating part, I felt suicidal, I felt, like I wanted to end it all, and it was because I was exhausted from trading, and I was exhausted from losing, and I was frustrated with, you've been through it all, haven't you? Wringing your hands, tearing your hair short with your family, probably even at times because you're losing money, because nobody really took the time or you never took the time yourself to master your own emotions. Well, I'm here to tell you that I did turn it around. I started to trade profitably, and it took me 4 years of struggle, of failure, of learning and failing and learning and failing before I finally turned the corner on my 5th year. And when I turned the corner, I started to get respectable returns, above average returns on a regular basis. And for the next 10 years, I was able to do that, making somewhere between 12% and 36% per annum. And this is the whole point that I guess I'm trying to sit here and tell you, is that the Forex market is a market that, if you trade it properly, can be your friend. Then you'll fall victim to the marketers, to the scammers, to the market manipulators, and to everything else that's in the market that normally wouldn't affect you if you were actually taught properly. And so that's why we're here, because I do believe that we have a number of services that can help you to become not just a better trader, but to make money at the same time. So for now, what I'm trying to do is to build a community of serious traders who really want to make Forex an asset class. That's always been my goal, is to make Forex an asset class for the average person. And I really wanted to help you to profit over a longer period of time, get you away from the realistic expectations that have been thrown at you from every particular angle. None of them really work. You wouldn't be looking at this particular video if it actually had worked. And the idea is, in most cases, the signals that you're following, the systems that you're following, are simply not powerful enough to work when you have a number of traders trading the systems. Okay, they always seem to fail, don't they? Maybe they'll do well for a while for the guru. Maybe they'll do well for a particular person trading a particular approach. And I've seen this over and over again in the competitions and in people's accounts. And the minute you have a large group of people who hook on to that particular system, guess what? That's when it has the biggest drawdown, and that's when people lose all their money and are shocked around the whole thing. Well, we worked hard here at Forex Undress, and essentially what we've done is we have created profitable signals which anybody can trade. And this is the whole essence, is that they're powerful enough to handle most of the retail trader market, trading them on a regular basis, where you will not lose your money to a system that isn't powerful enough to handle a large number of traders trading it. And that seems to be almost every system out there. So essentially what we did is we developed the Euro US dollar signal. And it's not some magical signal, ladies and gentlemen. All it is we're doing what I have been doing effectively now for the last year or so, which is trading the sideways movements of the Euro US dollar by essentially using the exchange rate, which is overvalued now and is now basically in a decline mode, to make profits, just as any particular investor might do, a large investor like George Soros. This is how they do it, okay? That's how we did it with the US dollar yen a few years ago. I'm basically giving you the formula here on how to take trades. And so far, the system that I have has had 22 trades, 22 profitable trades out of the 22 trades that I've taken. So yes, it hasn't had a loss, and it's not likely to have a loss based upon my fundamental analysis of the euro and the fact that we either short it, which is exactly what we're doing right now and probably will be for quite some time, and eventually, sometime, someday, we may be going long again. But the whole idea behind the signal is that it's a set. You set your target, you forget about it, and you go out and have a good day, and you wait until it hits your target. Okay, that's it. And for once again, we're using proper risk management. We take these trades. We'll explain to you how to do that on the site. This is, once again, we are capitalizing on the exchange rate being overvalued at this particular time. And essentially, there's no magic behind it. That's the whole point behind trading currencies, is that you actually capitalize on one of the major trends that is now in motion. And to do that, we have created the euro signal. And it will continue to do well. It doesn't matter whether there's 10 traders trading it or whether there's 10,000 traders trading it. It will still perform. For the market makers and the brokers and all those people who manipulate pips and slip you and do all these sorts of things, essentially, can't do much, because guess what? The trend is now in motion. It's how you sell, basically. And we'll give you those tips on how to sell, how to use position size, how to use leverage, so that you can make a consistent profit. Throughout the year, we're looking at probably substantial gains as the euro continues to move down. If you can show me any particular investment right now that perhaps might do better for you, well, I'm all ears. Okay? The second part, of course, is we've also created a gold signal. I've traded gold for a long time, and I have a very good signal that has a tendency to keep you on the right side of the market. It has a stop loss and it has profit targets. We have to use the signal in the sense where we take gold's volatility into account when we place our stop loss. You need to keep in mind that gold is a made market on the paper market. Okay, so in other words, we have to be able to pick out where traders are most likely to go long or short in order to profit handsomely from those particular moves. Throughout my knowledge of trading gold, especially after the last 3 or 4 months, we have been making a killing in the markets by basically being in the right direction, where most of the traders have been washed and rinsed. We have live trading statements which will show you exactly what we've done. The third part of our trading that we work hard to develop a particular powerful technique, once again, where you're not caught in losing trades because the system itself isn't powerful enough to host a number of traders trading the system at the same time, is the hedge fund flow orders that we have been optimizing for the last 2 or 3 years. These are proprietary signals that the largest players that are institutional players that enter into the Forex market are taking on a daily basis. And what we do is we'll be giving you those areas with stop losses and take profit areas. And no, it's not a black box system, but it is extremely powerful enough so that the market makers and that the brokers and the number of the people making the markets, the liquidity providers, essentially are not going to be able to pit manipulate or to distort your profits. You'll get the same sort of profits that I do if you want to try out the signals of taking order flow and hedge fund flow from the players, the 83%, essentially, the amount of players where they control essentially 83 to 85, maybe even 90% of the volume on a daily basis. And I recommend that you give it a try. I think that you'll be happy with the results that you get. As I said, it's for somebody who's been struggling to find a profitable system. Somebody who's been struggling to actually make the markets work for them. We have 3 separate ways that you can make the money, 3 different ways here. We know that a lot of you like to trade gold. We know that most of you trade the euro, US dollar. And we also have 5 other currency pairs that will be helping you to put profits in. Hello, fellow traders. Mark Abramsky from Forex Undress. We're going to basically be explaining to you how the euro US dollar daily signal works, or weekly signal. Sometimes it even goes a little bit longer than that. As you can see here, we have taken a number of signals since around the midway of December, and every single one of them, with the exception of signal 6, has closed in profits. It's coming down. It will certainly be closing in the very near future. But we have been making money all the way through, and as you can see by the account, it started at 10,000. It's now 909 for a 9-10% return in 3 or 4 months. We'll go over the account history, and you can see basically all the various positions closing here for profits, 20 pips every single time. Now, I did take some extra trades on the way down, and I mentioned to people that they could do that if they wanted to, even basically selling. And you can see here, not one loss in about 25 trades, not one. And essentially what we're doing is we're trading like an investor, like a George Soros, like Jimmy Rogers, like a Stanley Druckenmiller, and those guys don't fool around chasing price action all the time. Let's just basically go into why I have been shorting the euro for the longest period of time, going way back further than even I had recorded here for the signals. And we'll basically just show you that essentially the euro, as you can see by the Fibonacci's here, has been in a sideways market since about 2012, for the last couple of years anyway. And unless you're a believer that the euro is going to 1.6 again, which, you have to be a fool to think that given the way the Eurozone is basically playing out right now, and the state that it's in, the periphery countries are in, then my own particular view and fundamental analysis of the market states that that just isn't going to happen. Everybody was calling for 1.45, 1.5. I said that's just not going to happen. As it was, the Eurozone was strangled. So what we're doing is we're playing the anemic sideways range of the euro, and it has been, as you can see here by the weekly chart here, for the longest period of time. The US dollar is sideways too, and has been since 2011. Now you can see the overall pattern here is in a wedge, and the wedge 80% of the time breaks away from the trend, and lo and behold, look what's happening as a result of the speech of Draghi last week. It has tanked, and will continue to tank over a period of time as it makes its way down probably towards the 1-2 or perhaps lower. As I was mentioning to you, I will look at the franc, and you can see it's been in the same sideways market. You can see that. Is this a bear market? Not really. It's been sideways since 2011 too. Or is this a bear market? You can see
the difference, okay? I just want you to understand where my fundamentals and where my technicals are coming from. So basically, we've been calling along here, and any one of these particulars, so you know, people could have been doing a whole heck of a lot better than me. I just simply took my 20 pip profit, but if you'd let it run for a couple of hundred pips here, you could have let it run here. There is a distinct target. That's the point. What you're doing is you're letting drawdown be your friend. As you can see here from signal 6 to where we are now at signal 16, you know, there has been a bit of drawdown of maybe 200 pips, you know, for signal 6, and that's not a big deal because once again, we're using drawdown as our ally, you know, by using position size, leverage, and proper risk management. You know, employing all those three have allowed us to make almost a 10% return in 4 months on the account. I'm anticipating hopefully somewhere around 20, maybe 25, maybe 30% before the year is done, but that's basically how you make serious returns where there's a lot of work in the Forex market. I'll simply give you the sell signal where I suspect we are going to have a nice big sell-off, and if it doesn't, we'll continue to short every 200 or 300 pips up. Once again, you know, the anemic road sideways is likely to continue in the opposite direction. Now, someday we'll probably do buys, but that particular time is not right now. And basically speaking, this is pretty much 100% signal where it does not lose. Fellow traders, I know that sounds a little bit unbelievable, but you know what? You're trading like a long-term investor here, and this is the particular view that you have to look at the markets, you know, and this is exactly how we're trading it, and it's been working for me for the last 2 or 3 years now. So consequently, I am giving it to you, and you can make money consistently every single month without having to chase price action all over the place and basically trading like an investor. We'll be putting the parameters of how you want to do basically risk management on the site so that you don't get confused. I'll be clearly explaining to you how to take the trades. I'll be clearly explaining to you exactly the profit target you need to set. And right now it's simply a sell signal and designed to give you profits on a regular basis without you having to worry and without your account being in any kind of serious drawdown. So let's move on. The second signal, of course, is one that I have been working on for quite some time now. I'm a bit of a gold bug myself. So consequently, I've been trading the gold market for the last 5-6 years. I could, you know, tell you that I got in at the bottom in 2000, but that's a no-brainer, isn't it, folks? I mean, anybody with half a brain knowing that the U.S. dollar was going to tank could have called that, right? You know, it's a far different story to tell you to get in. You can see where I told my subscribers to get in here. And then here, you know, obviously I didn't call the exact bottom, but I wasn't far off. And of course, you know, we do have stop losses because of gold's volatility. We don't want to be caught in a serious drawdown. There are stop losses there placed in relation to the volatility of gold, which means you have to use proper risk management. What large volatility means is you use smaller position size for those of you who do not know that. Okay, you build it into your stop loss. And once again, I'll be showing you how to do that. But as you can see here, I called this area for a trade up in gold, and I called this area for a trade up in gold. You can see this arrow too. You'll know that from my calls, which I'll show you at a later date, where you can see the profits and you can see the particular positions in action as I called them at the time. However, it will be well worth it if you are a gold trader to take these trades. Just before we hit the peak here at 1392, about a candle or two before I called, this is about the time where most traders are going to pile in for the run through 1400 all the way to 1500. Of course, we know that the gold market is essentially made by buyers and traders in the paper market, okay? It has nothing to do with taking physical possession of gold, okay? It's all about trader positions in the paper market. So once again, when too many people are on one side of the trade, what happens? It does the opposite of what most people think, right? It goes in the opposite directions in order to find an equilibrium point, okay? That's what happens in a paper market, which is made up of buyers and sellers. So you can see that I suspected that there will be a turning point where B is here, slightly before it. And indeed, that's where we had the big sell-off, which was the wash and rinse of most of the long buyers hopping in late, which is exactly how traders buy and sell, folks. You know that. You don't need me to tell you that. Most of you who are traders or experienced traders understand that particular principle as well as I do. Those of you who are new, well, that's the way they do it. They watch and they watch and they watch and they watch and they get all excited, and finally they jump in when you have a little bit of a parabolic price rise, and then guess what? Price generally washes and rinses them. That's how mom and pop do it, folks. From here on, you know, I was calling basically the buys. You know, we have a sideways market here in relation to the dollar, also strengthening at this particular time. Now, gold doesn't always strengthen or weaken with the dollar going the opposite way, so don't buy into that either. But this is basically where I've been telling people to buy. We are in a bit of a corrective pattern here. We'll have to see how that plays out over the next little while. Our target zone is up around the 50% Fibonacci mark here, which is slightly above the 1321, maybe around the 1328 mark, where I suspect gold will sell off again towards the bottom. We'll just have to see how that plays out over the next 2 or 3 weeks. This is exactly what you're seeing in the markets at this particular time, which is roughly around May the 16th, 2014. So as we speak. Last but not least, fellow traders, is probably the most interesting part of the system and the signal calling system that I have for you, okay? As you can see, you can make consistent long-term money in both gold and the euro. But some of you may want to trade day to day, and that's great. If you do, what we'll be doing is I'll be calling proprietary signals every single day that are based upon where the hedge funds and where the banks have their orders and they're trading out of. Essentially, what that does is it puts you in a small percentage of the traders that essentially are responsible for about 85 to 95% of the Forex volume on a daily basis. So the retail trader, folks, only does about maybe 5 to 15% on any particular day. So once again, this trillion-dollar market, this multi-trillion-dollar market is not controlled by the retail trader by any stretch of the imagination. And basically, how would it feel for you to know that you were trading on the side of the money with a system that is correct over 70% of the time? Now, the positions that we'll be calling are in the US dollar, Japanese yen. All right, we'll be giving you some specific buy and sell orders based upon order flow. Once again, with clear stop losses, with clear target profits. You're not always going to win, but they will win over 70% of the time, and you will have some very nice profits from these. Okay, folks, I can assure you. The second one will be the Great Britain pound. We'll be giving you buy and sell signals on those. Once again, based upon order flow, the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar, all against the US dollar, the euro, US dollar, and I put some of the flows over the last little while here where you can see where major players have been pushing price down. Okay, this goes actually right up to today's rates where you can see that this particular area, and you can say, well, yes, that's the key resistance area, but you wouldn't have known that without this particular information and the fact that order flow wasn't necessarily going to get through here. It could have, but the chances are, as I said, there's a 70% chance it was due for a good reversal, and you can see today's action on the 16th. Indeed, it is headed down once again. Euro Japanese yen essentially is the other currency pair that we'll be calling, and the US dollar franc is the other one we'll be giving you the order flow levels for. Some of them will be buy limits, some of them will be sell limits, some of them may be hit on certain days. You may have multiple orders hit on days where you all of a sudden do 400 or 500 pips in one day. They'll shock you. There'll be other days where you won't have any trades at all. So that's the essentials, and that's the way trades work. Once again, the idea behind these trades is that it's a system where it doesn't matter whether there's 10 or 10,000 people taking trades in the system. It isn't going to affect how the order flow actually moves the market. And it's one of the few ways in which you don't have to worry about market manipulators, crooked brokerages, or any of the market makers jerrying price around on you, because essentially they don't have the ability or the knowledge, even themselves probably, to do this. This is proprietary information that comes from my trading partner. Essentially, a lot of it is the same sort of information we have to trade the PAM fund or the managed account that we trade on a daily basis too. And oftentimes we'll take our positional trades based upon some this exact information that we're giving you. So once again, it shows you how the euro US dollar signal works, it shows you how the gold trade works, and it shows you how our proprietary trading information works for you on a daily basis. To add profits, 3 different ways where it doesn't matter, as I mentioned to you, whether 10 people are trading it or 10,000 people are trading it, the system is going to produce over a period of time if you're patient enough to let it do so. So join us, fellow traders, and I hope you have enjoyed the explanation. And looking forward to working with you in a profitable way for the long term. Have a great day.
Hello, fellow traders. Mark Ramsey from Forex Undress. As far as using the signals and the profit potential, I shoot for 20 to 50% on the account for a year. So that's what you could expect if you use consistent leverage and consistent risk management over time on your account without altering any of the parameters. Because when you alter the parameters, of course, you run the risk that you could potentially lose a little bit more, or you could gain a little bit more. I mean, that's entirely up to yourself. If you were wanting a higher return, well, that's how you do it. You up leverage or you up your risk parameters, But it isn't something I recommend, and here's why. Okay, most people won't tell you this. The minute you do that, you change and you alter the systematic rules, okay, that you've used to already, let's say, accumulate profits, okay? And this happens an awful lot of times. You see an awful lot of traders that have a really good months, they have consistent months, and then they up their account to a certain percentage and they get greedy because they figure that, we haven't had a drawdown or we haven't had
a loss or losing month in quite some time. And the minute they up the leverage, that's when bad things happen. And all of a sudden, all those hard-earned returns that you've had for all those months get wiped out. So be careful with leverage. Don't get too greedy. There's nothing wrong with a 20 to 50% return every single year. If we do more, wonderful. If we don't do as much, that's fine too, but the whole point of the whole thing is that you want to get a greater return than you could get anywhere else by consistently trading with a conservative trading method. That's the idea. You're an investor. You're not a gambler here. So that's how you would do it. We'll leave that completely up to you, but I would consider using the same parameters that you start your account with as time goes on. Okay, that's how you compound. Okay. Now, I'm not going to do all the marketing hype like most of the other gurus. I'm not going to throw in any junk bonuses. You don't need that, do you? Of course you don't need that. You're smarter than that. Hypothetical results, fake customer testimonials. It's all the same thing. It really doesn't mean anything, folks. Okay, it's the same thing. You still have to make a decision about what's right for you. Okay, and all the bonuses in the world isn't necessarily going to make that change. Okay, you have to base your parameters on whether you think that I'm real or whether you think that the systems we have are real or not. This is why we want you to try them first. What I'm trying to do here, probably more than anything else, is, and I think most traders are looking for that, is to build a community of serious traders who can benefit from my knowledge on the euro, US dollar, and gold. Okay. Of course, you're also going to get proprietary information each and every day that comes through bank flow orders and hedge fund flow orders and all the larger institutional orders that are in the market that actually move the market, where the market makers really don't have that much play, or you can't be manipulated to death. Okay, and this is the exact reason why I wanted to do this, is because it gives you a fair fighting chance, whereas most other systems, they're not strong enough to do that. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind. I'm not saying that everybody else out there doesn't have a good thing. They might. They just may very well do that, and that's entirely up to you. But what I'm saying is, it's the power of the signal that matters. And you're going to receive my signals through our member area. You're going to receive the signals through Facebook and through Twitter. Facebook and Twitter, the apps on your mobile phone can receive our signal through your mobile phone that way. So you download the apps from Facebook, you download the apps from Twitter. It'll be a specialized member area from Facebook and Twitter also, where you are the only ones who are actually accessing the signal that way. We want you basically to try it for $1 for 2 weeks. Give it a shot. And then after that, it's just $97 a month per month if you're happy with the signal. If you're not happy with it, cancel your order at that particular time. I'm quite confident that you're going to benefit from the signal in the community. I've worked a lot of years for this particular moment, and I think we have quality products, quality service, quality education. So go right down here, click the button right below the video and sign up. And give us a try. I think you'll be very, very pleasantly surprised. We'll see everyone inside.